Today's video is going to be more of a weird one and a little bit of a different topic that I haven't really gone into much on the channel, and that is going to be esports, and more directly Call of Duty esports, or the Call of Duty League for those that don't know it. I want to talk about the competitive Call of Duty aspect and how I don't really understand it, and I don't understand some of like the culture that goes on within it. I understand that esports are a thing, and I know that esports are going to have a crazy future just with how popular it is, especially in a place like Korea and Japan, where there are quite literally university teams and college teams being formed for specific video games, and we're seeing like the NCAA of like League of Legends over there, and kind of like those other big mass multiplayer online games that are super popular in kind of like that East Asia area. But I wanted to talk today about how I find the CDL dumb, and a lot of people are going to get really mad at that statement instantly that are following the CDL and that like are into esports and stuff like that, because they're going to call me old head and boomer, and you just don't understand it. And to some extent, I admit I don't understand the hype around professional gaming. There are very few games that I understand professional gaming and why it's as popular as it is. The main one for me is the Rocket League, or RLCS, Rocket League Champion League. I think that's what it's called. And for those that don't know what Rocket League is, it's literally just car soccer. It's like 3v3 car soccer where you're just trying to score goals. And that one, like for me, I understand that esport is super easy to follow because it replicates a real sport that people already watch. So you can be 60 years old, never played a video game in your life, have your grandson or son turn on RLCS on the TV and have it be easy to follow. And it's pretty interesting because there's some pretty cool things that go on in RLCS, and it's just an easy sport, or I guess easy esport to pick up and understand. So I understand why something like that just makes so much sense and is so popular, but I don't understand like Call of Duty Pro League. And I'm gonna explain kind of like my thoughts and opinions on this topic. Let me know your guys is in the comment section down below. Yeah, I know I'm out of the loop with Call of Duty, and I guess I would say like I know I'm out of the loop with esports and stuff like that, and I've never really understood that, specifically because I was brought up and I grew up playing like ice hockey in Canada and just doing all these sports in the summer. And I have always heard the argument of people be like, oh, why would you watch sports on TV when you can go play them yourself? And sure, that's a completely valid argument sometimes, but there are people out there that aren't able to play some of the sports. Like they're not physically capable enough to play like a sport like football or downhill slalom skiing, or like there's a bunch of sports that people just might physically not be able to play, and that's nothing against them. That's just how it is sometimes. So there are some people that don't want to take the risks of real sports. So if you guys watch like American football, there's a huge risk of injury there. So some people just would rather watch it because they enjoy the sport than play it. And when you play a sport, it's so much easier to watch a sport too. Like I play hockey, I watch hockey all the time. I play golf, and I honestly have started to watch golf too. So, but the thing is with esports, I don't understand it in the sense of like, oh, why don't you just go play the game yourself? Because literally anyone can go play the game. You don't have to sit and watch esports. Like for me personally, in my personal taste, I would much rather play Call of Duty myself than watch the CDL people play. And the only reason I watched CDL yesterday was because COD Champs went on, and I think FaZe beat Toronto like, what was it, like 5-3 or something like that in like their matches or maps or whatever. I really don't pay attention to how CDL works. I know it's pretty similar to just like a tournament scoring system type thing, but I would much rather play than watch myself. So I understand the popularity of esports, and I understand that if you're really invested into a game, there is going to be a time where you're going to want to watch people that are better than you. That's why YouTube's such a big thing. There are some great players like Handler out there that people love watching just because he's really good at the game. And there's all these YouTubers that are up and coming right now that are incredible at the game modes they play, whether that's Warzone or Search and Destroy, and people will watch them specifically just for how good they play. And I understand that, because if you can't play in like the high tier or high skill level skill-based matchmaking brackets, or just anything in general, you're going to want to watch people that are better than you. But I don't understand the hype of these teams. And I was watching it, and like every time they would cut towards the crowd was absolutely into it and like screaming and just being absolutely excited about the game. And that is nothing against them. If you guys find something you like and enjoy, please love and continue to enjoy that regardless of what people say. But I was sitting here watching the CDL playoffs or CDL finals on my monitor, and I was just like, the entire time. Like I like there was some moments where I was like, oh, that was a cool move, but it was just like so overhyped for personally how I interpret esports, and I don't understand how it's so big. Okay, and there's some logistical things I also don't understand within esports. I don't know if it's just a buy-in in general or if it's every single year you have to do this buy-in, but for a CDL team to franchise, you have to pay like $25 million to the league to buy in, or it's like $25 million per season. It makes more sense if it's a $25 million buy-in to the league, and then you just, or once you buy into the league, you buy into the league. But $25 million is a lot of money, and an organization who's paying players to be their pro team players, as well as pay $25 million to be in the league, kind of blows my mind, because where do they get their money from? Because I know the Call of Duty League has just overall generic sponsors, and I think Mountain Dew Game Fuel is a sponsor of the league, Scuf's a sponsor of the league, and there's probably a couple other sponsors in there as well. But I would think that the sponsorship money would go to the league and the CDL rather than the teams themselves. So I'm sure the teams have merch and stuff like that, but I find it very odd how they would make their money back. Because for me and my perspective and my understanding of economics, which is a bare minimum, by the way, I'm not saying like I'm an economic expert, but it seems like a lot of teams would lose money, especially a lot of the teams that are bad in CDL and don't perform that well. I don't understand how they would make money. And I also don't understand like the franchises within specific cities. This is also just me being out of touch with esports in general. And I think Overwatch was the first team to have like actual like city teams. Like, so for example, in the CDL, you have the Toronto Ultra, which is based out of Toronto, Atlanta FaZe based out of Atlanta. You guys kind of understand it. The New York Subliners, I don't honestly know many other teams because I really don't pay attention to them. Honestly, for me, professional Call of Duty was more interesting when it was like Optic versus FaZe and Energy and Cloud9 and all these teams. I don't think Cloud9 ever had a Call of Duty team, but there was all these like gaming organizations that had teams rather than franchises. It made, see, like the second the CDL became a thing, I didn't even think to watch it, but there was times in like 2012, 13, 14 during Black Ops 2 Advanced Warfare where there were these MLG tournaments, and I still didn't care about professional Call of Duty then, but then I would hear like, oh, Optic and FaZe are rivaling each other, and at the time I was huge into watching FaZe. Like I was watching the FaZe House New York, and then the first FaZe House in LA where they had, I don't remember where it was, I think it was like Calabasas or something, but I was huge into watching them then. So I was like, oh my god, the Call of Duty clan that I've grew up watching is playing their rivals Optic, who I've also watched some of their content. This is going to be extremely fun to watch. And then you'd watch the match because it was based off of these organizations rather than franchise. And I know in the CDL that there are organizations that own teams, and it's Optic's team, which I don't know where they're based out of. It's Optic and FaZe still have teams today, but all of the other small, like if you go into Black Ops 3, there's a DLC pack for Call of Duty calling cards, and you can buy like the MLG teams. Like there's like a North America pack, Europe pack, Australia, Oceania pack, Asia pack. Like there's these teams from all over the world that used to compete at these international events as their organization rather than just a franchise. And I kind of think the franchises decrease some of the personability with the league, and when there's these like normal organization teams like FaZe and Optic and Energy and all these teams that you watch on YouTube, it makes it a little bit more personal, and it's just it's a very weird thing for me. So as of right now, I'm on the page that I find the CDL dumb and just not entertaining. That's my personal preference. I haven't enjoyed it at all. I mean, I was slightly entertained watching the COD Champs last night, but I would never pick to watch it. Like the only reason I watched it is because I had everyone in my Discord telling me about it, and it was for $1.2 million. So yeah, that's where I stand on esports. I understand that it's going to get better and better. I think things just need to be polished out over time, and it seems very in like a weird development period where it's brand new. It's been new for the last decade, and it just needs to, it kind of needs to plant its roots a little bit more so it's easier to understand for not even just people like me that play games every day in the first place, but people that don't play games. Because the second you get the people that have never played a video game in their life watching or interested, that's when things are going to be really good. And I'm looking forward to it then. But yeah, that's just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Share your opinions. Do you guys agree, disagree? What do you guys think about the CDL? Let me know. I want to compare and contrast my opinions with yours. Anyway, leave a like if you guys do enjoy, dislike if you didn't. There's no hard feelings if you don't. Subscribe for more videos in the future, and if there is one, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.